happen? Can someone with a lot of green dollars lend to someone else?
No.
So there's no lending, there's no borrowing.
No.
And there's no interest.
And there's no interest.
No interest,
And the other-
which is you know
Very important.
that for people is a huge.
The other thing that
Huge.
we've done within the village, and it's begun to spread a bit as well, is that where it's time, that we charge a flat rate. So we've got an agreement within the community that it doesn't matter what the job is, it doesn't matter whether you're dealing with the water or the roads or
the secretarial or the accounts
stuff
or the green dollar accounts, because of course I get paid to do them.
That it's a flat rate because we're all short of time, and you know we've said, you know,
So just look at an average.
what basis do we?
$15 an hour.
And on what basis is it okay for somebody to say, well, I'm sorry, actually my time's worth twice as much as yours? It's like,
Yeah.
fuck off, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And but that in itself is just like a huge paradigm shift away from out there.
It
Yeah.
does feel really important.
Yeah, that is. Because
Probably quite liberating too in a funny kind of way because
liberating for everybody, actually.
for everyone,
It takes
because
pressure
suddenly
off.
it takes
pressure off those people who thought they were worth more as well. And the funny sort of, you know what I mean? You're sort of doing everyone a favour.
Well, it's just acknowledging that everyone's time's as valuable as everybody else's, and we've all got lots of commitments, and you know.
And I think as well that's laying down a bit of a marker as well because we did the same that you know when we kicked off for ease, the simplest thing is to say, okay, $1 green is worth $1 New Zealand dollar.
So we are linked in that sense.
But
But you'd never buy any.
No.
That's just the difference.
But there's
but the
There's a
other
massive
important thing is it's not necessarily linked. So we
Because if they get hyperinflation, we'll break
Yeah,
it.
Well, that's
separately.
what I was going to ask you though. What because this was when Miguel was here. This became all of them had that problem that they were linked, and they didn't have a device that when if it did start to happen, they didn't they hadn't worked it out beforehand to say okay, well then we're going to go to corn or butter or something.
Well, we've got our AGM is coming up,
Yeah.
and it'll be one of the things that we'll discuss at our AGM. It's just in 3 weeks' time, so we'll discuss it at the AGM and work out. And to my mind, it's not about it being a thing. It's just about saying, okay, what is it? Because we called our currency cowrie. What's the cowrie worth? And so, I'll be looking to fix the cowrie being worth what it's worth now before things go mad.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't really matter. It's just
a means.
It's just a means. It's just a tool. Now the thing you also do need to understand though is that some people, because you're not bound with whatever you sell to sell it for 100% green. So you know, if I say I decide I'm going to bake some bread and I want to bake some extra loaves and sell them, then I might charge New Zealand dollars for the proportion of it that's my ingredients, and green for the time, and that's okay as well. You can do half and half, third and 2/3, whichever way around. All of those combinations.
That's what we were seeing with these other systems, like the Berkshire and those. What's the German one called?
Yeah, but that had because they had a thing called
but they had a neat
demarrage, which basically would stop people accumulating, and that after 3 months,
it expired.
Money's like corn. It
expires.
It rusts.
It's heavy.
It's a French word for rust.
You could update it.
Right.
That would cost
But
you
it costed you. It meant that people like Bill
was a
Gates
philosophy.
would actually every 3 months would have to
That's
pay
interesting.
billions
Yeah, really
to
good.
just keep his money or lose it basically.
Yeah.
And it had a nice.
Encourage people to let it go faster.
Yeah, because the thing.
Instead of accumulating.
You've got to have the things to spend it on though. I mean that means that you know I can see that as a really good device as long as long as you've not got that situation of people not having something
But see,
that they
I
need
sort
within
of,
the scheme.
and I think that was the device was cool when we're into growing and everything. You know, the economy's going like this and everything because all one of the main reasons they do it is to encourage the money to go round.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but we don't want to encourage money to go around, like you're saying, because if you're encouraging it to go around for no good reason, rather than just to consume.
It's still energy though.
But you're consuming.
I know what you're saying.
The trade, because I think the interesting thing about green dollar schemes is that, because what I would say to people starting schemes like ours is a bit different to what you were talking about, I think.
Yeah, it is.
But ours is, I think trust and people knowing each other and the community building part of it is really important. And when I've talked to people, I say just start small with as many people as you can get together and let it grow incrementally. Let it work because people know each other and trust. Because people find it quite hard to get out of that headspace where money's private, debt's bad, and I need to accumulate lots for myself because that's what money is in this society. So it's a bit different. But after a while, you start to realise that, I mean, the green dollar is only a tool, and it's not the tool that's important. It's the fact that it lets you trade that's important. So accumulating the wealth's not important. It's the fact that people are trading and exchanging and swapping, and that things are going around is what actually really matters. Because that's what it's for. Because otherwise, you're going to end up with crazy situations where you've got like an economic downturn and people have got time and they've still got skills, but because they don't have any of the tool to exchange things, they can't exchange things. But all the stuff's still there. It's just that the tool's missing. So this is just a tool to allow exchange to happen, whatever's going on out there.
That's what I noticed in the far north of my ageing family is they don't have their cash poor, but they still do a lot of, like when the electrician comes round, the electrician barely charges them any money, but he goes home with dinner.
Yeah.
You know, it's an informal system
Yeah.
that generation have always done.
Yeah.
You know, or he definitely won't charge my Auntie Tui anything, because Auntie Tui always gives him batches of scones, cakes coming out of his jams, preserves, you know, because that's what she has got a lot of. For some, you know, because she grows her.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
isn't that what
those
community's
informal
about?
systems.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, all the green dollar scheme is formalising that stuff.
That.
And it just makes it easier. And it just makes it easier because if Jeff's got carrots and I want carrots and I've got a chicken and he wants a chicken, we can swap. But if I want what he's got and he doesn't want what I've got, it makes it harder. It just gives you a tool to have complicated barters.
The interesting thing as well is
it gives you the common value system.
Yeah, but the other interesting thing is that because the more you trade, you know, and you begin to appreciate that the actual level of different people's balances doesn't matter, because you get to a space where it's like what goes around comes around. Actually, you know, if you could pursue that far enough,
you don't need the green dollar
scheme at all. If everybody just trusted within a situation of sufficient abundance that people's basic needs could be met, then it would just be a question of a community recognising that
there's your challenge. There's your next step, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It's funny because as a
We
young
watch
teacher,
with
I've been
interest.
thinking about doing this. I've been too terrified to do it that I actually taught a class where I charged nothing for. And I just trusted that people would actually give me something back. And I need to do it. I've been terrified to do it.
Yeah.
Because everywhere you go, you've got overheads. You see.
Yeah.
And that's been the issue. But one day it'll come up because it's been a huge desire of mine. Because the idea of that it shouldn't cost.
It's like, you know, people need something or they need some help, so you help them, and you know that when you need help you'll get stuff back, and you've got something spare so you give it to them, and you know that when you need something that you'll get it back.